Bonjour à tous et bienvenue dans ma première vidéo sur YouTube. Hello everyone and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. I'm Angela and I speak a bit of French. I started learning French a couple of years back, probably almost 3 or 4 years, and I've never really spoken with anyone in French, so I feel like I haven't really improved in those years. That's why I decided to take up the challenge and create a YouTube channel wherein I can practice French and also share some of my resources and tips in learning the language. So there will be two parts in this video. First would be the resources and second would be some of my tips and also tips that I've got from other language learners. So I hope you enjoy this video and let's get on with it. Let's start with resources. Probably some of you are still pondering whether to study French and you do not want to spend too much for lessons. Well, we are in luck because in our generation, there are thousands of free resources to learn French. First off is YouTube. It is an amazing tool for language learning. There are a lot of YouTubers that teach French. To name a few, we have Learn French with Alexa, Inner French, Piece of French, and Easy French. You should definitely check them out. I would probably create a more in-depth discussion of my favorite native and non-native French YouTubers in the future, so stay tuned for that.
Qu'est-ce que tu as fait le week-end dernier dans ta ville? And this is part of theme 2 for the GCSE. So let's see how we answer this at the highest level possible.
Next up is Duolingo. I have tried other applications to study French, but I've used Duolingo more often, so that's what I would be talking about for now. For me, Duolingo is fun and very effective. I believe it uses a spaced repetition system, so it makes it easier to remember things. I wouldn't recommend solely using Duolingo for language learning. It can just be something to supplement other methods you use. So far, this is my progress in French on Duolingo. Next off are books. These are the books I've been using when I started learning French. I bought them in book sales around my city. They come with CDs. However, I did not use them as much because I mostly relied on YouTube videos and language learning applications. On the other hand, this material was given to us when I enrolled in an extramural class in UP Diliman. It lasted for 3 months and we had lessons once a week, which was during Saturdays. Moving on to the fun part, we have movies or series. There's a YouTube channel that shows clips of dubbed English movies in French and I've been watching Harry Potter. I also recently watched a Netflix original French series titled Lupin. I watched it twice, first with English subtitles and the second one with French subtitles. Doing this will really improve both listening and reading skills, and you can pick up some vocabs along the way. French music is amazing.
J'avais envie de dire bonjour à n'importe qui, et ce fut toi. Je t'ai dit n'importe quoi, il suffisait de te parler pour t'apprivoiser. Oh, Champs-Élysées.
Most of the time, I know how to sing them before I even know what the song actually means. I write the lyrics down and also the English translation. This is a great method to increase vocabulary in a fun and effective way. So those are the resources I've been using and learning French. Let's proceed to the second part, which are my language learning tips. People have different learning styles. I think there is no such thing as a perfect way to learn languages. We just have to try and experiment along the way to figure out what works best for us and where we can see significant improvement in our learning journey. However, we may have experienced similar things, so I'm going to share some tips that I personally find useful. I believe it is not necessary that you have to live in the country where the language is spoken for you to be able to learn it. But of course, I think it would be easier or faster to acquire it since you are exposed to it regularly. So, for a similar effect, find time to listen or read a lot in the language you are learning. It can be by watching movies, listening to music, reading books, or simply even thinking or talking to yourself in that language. Always study new vocabularies within a context. For me, I don't just memorize vocabulary by merely writing a list of words down. What I find useful is by following a sentence template where I can replace words, and through the context, I would know what it means when I encounter that word again. I mostly study vocabularies that are relevant to me or something I can use daily. This will make it easier to retain the information. Consistency. Many language learners would probably testify that consistency is crucial in learning languages, to which until now I'm still working on. I believe having a steady, consistent schedule in studying the language can really help in attaining continuous progress. I think it is better to study a language 30 minutes to 1 hour a day consistently than doing it for 6 hours in one day and picking it up again after a week. The tendency is that you will not easily remember what you studied a week ago. I can attest to this after having a somewhat consistent study routine during this quarantine. My last tip for language learning is to speak the language, make mistakes, and have fun. I've watched a lot of YouTubers who are also language learners, and it is a piece of common advice from them to really speak the language from the first day. If you do not have tutors or you are not enrolled in a class where you are given the opportunity to speak, then try recording yourself and listen to how it sounds. You can also practice just by talking to yourself or having shower conversations. However, it would still be best to have someone to correct you. You can also join communities online as a support system, especially when you become demotivated.
Alors, il est donc plus facile de se souvenir des choses jusqu'à présent que ce sont mes progrès en français sur Duolingo.
I recently took up some italki lessons and I just finished the 3 trial lessons. So far, it has been rewarding because I realized that I am able to somewhat communicate, not perfectly though, but somewhat communicate in a way that the tutor was able to understand me despite probably some grammatical errors or wrong pronunciations. I was really happy that I was able to express myself in the language. So those are my tips and resources in learning the French language. I'm actually planning to start a small community for language learners. If you are interested, you can send me a DM on Instagram or email me. I will leave the details on the description box below, so be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for watching this video. À bientôt. Bisous bisous.